509, CBS reports. Don't touch that dial. Rule 1, mix.
Because of the following special program, Knots Landing will not be presented tonight. Knots Landing will return next Thursday at this time.
I've got a terrific idea for your birthday party.
4.
If it's your idea, it's going to involve boys.
Of course it involves boys. Bunch of girls singing is not a party.
Setting up
in
with
the
B.
world, in the world of
Okay.
the real world
Let's go.
of
We're through with this.
make it or break it television
Right.
series, how important is that first episode or two?
Well, unfortunately, it becomes more important every day. The way things are going now, you know, they're going to start pulling shows at the act break if they don't get ratings.
At the what?
At the act break. After the first 15 minutes, if the ratings aren't up, I'm afraid they're going to start pulling our show off us.
Second team, please, on to the mark.
There are so many critics of television, of what we have on television, that it's low quality, it's lowest common denominator. If that's true, if some of that criticism is true, who's to blame? Is the networks demanding a lower standard, or is a lower standard being provided by the producers?
I think it's a system that we're all seduced into, and some of us try to break that system.
Great moments coming at you. Great moments bound to catch you. Great moments when you're on CBS. Come on along with ABC. We're reaching out, it's you and me. Come on along with NBC. Just watch us. NBC. You love us. NBC. Just watch us now. We're NBC. Just watch us.
There has to be something wrong with a business that spends so many millions of dollars in the area of development and creates so little acceptable product. There's got to be something wrong with us. If the system hasn't worked and the audience is leaving us, and this is true about any industry or anything, if you have a marriage that doesn't work, you try to fix it. If you have kids that you're having problems with, you try to do new things. This has been rotten for the last 10 years. Why don't we fix it?
Can you stay for dinner?
The audience shares are eroding. The network structure, as we know it, is in jeopardy.
In the next hour, we'll try to give you a glimpse of how primetime television works. We all may be familiar with the visible players, the Lavernes and Shirleys, the Different Strokes, and the Different Folks of Dallas. But how did they get there? Who created them? Who dictates the television we watch? Or more to the point, the television that fewer people are watching? This free television, if you don't count the stress of sitting through the commercials. It may be free to us as viewers, but to the industry, it is a $10 billion honeypot. To give you an idea of what's involved here, each year the three networks combined spend over $100 million to develop series, most of which never get on the air. And because the stakes are so high, the pressure to get big ratings and thus big profits can leave the question of excellence somewhere on the cutting room floor. An ancient conflict, really, between quality and profit. Tonight, we put faces to the executives at two of the three networks, NBC and CBS. ABC was not interested in going along with this enterprise. But it's fair to say that the ABC story is not too much different from the other two. These network executives are not the stars in your living room like Hawkeye or Magnum PI. They are real people, really real people, the stars of the network boardrooms. And what they're saying to you is, don't touch that dial. We'll begin, as they say, right after this message.
This portion of CBS Reports is sponsored by Lysol Disinfectant Spray to kill household germs on surfaces and eliminate odors.
It happens every spring high up in the towers of CBS, NBC, and ABC. What we are watching is Selling Week, the week of weeks. In great secrecy, executives are deciding what each of their fall schedules will consist of. Their decisions will make grown men weep in agony or joy. Those grown men are the producers. The networks do not make their own shows, apart from news and sports. They contract them out to the producers, who gather round these rites of spring like so many hopeful virgins. Up in exotic suites of the Waldorf and other grand hotels, the producers are playing make-believe with the 3 primetime schedules, while they nervously wait for the networks to call. Gary Nardino, the president of Paramount Television, is a man with a golden touch. He's touched such little beauties as Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley. Nardino and his lieutenants are trying to outguess network strategists.
Sunday, boom, with Little Darlings.
Scamps and Little Darlings.
I think they're crazy if they get rid of that show.
The word on the street is CBS, there's some internal discussion about breaking up their Sunday night comedy block.
Be crazy.
And maybe moving 1 or 2 of them into Wednesday.
Now, trying to figure out ABC.
Television is a Byzantine business. For Nardino is not really a producer. He, Paramount, hires producers, then sells their ideas to the networks.
We have a lot of shows on that board, fellas. Too many. You fellas want anything?
Yeah, I do, Gary.
We have the grapefruit, 2 eggs over easy with sausage, whole wheat toast, Sanka, 2 cups of coffee, 2 large orange juices, and a large apple juice.
I think Maverick is very vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. Maverick sounds vulnerable.
Oh, should we wake Goldberg up? And
Dial 8 and 1.
I know how to go. This is extension 3023.
And the producer whose idea he has just sold to NBC is Gary Goldberg. The idea is a show called Family Ties.
Hi, is your dad home? This is Gary Nardino.
There is no feeling quite like getting that call that you're on, and it's official. And what was nice is that Nardino called, my daughter answered the phone, so it was all in proper perspective. You know, I was in my kitchen, I was surrounded by things I loved in case the call was going to be negative.
Gary, good. I had a meeting over there this morning with Brandon, Sagansky, Littlefield, with the guys, and we're in very, very good shape. Right now they have us scheduled at 9:30 on Wednesday. Yeah, before Quincy, after Facts of Life, which is a real good situation, I think, for us. There's one other thing. The testing came in, and there was some negative reaction to the way the father created a problem, stumbled around in it, and didn't come off as a very positive paternal force. On the positive side, it was the 3rd highest concept test they've ever had as a comedy. You know, the only shows that tested higher before it were Boomer and Different Strokes, which is batting 500. They do want to have this conversation before they lock the schedule this afternoon. It's a very nervous time for everybody, you know that. So I think we just reassure them on how you feel about the character on a long-term basis.
I thought it was an absolutely insane question. So Nardino was setting me up because he knows I'm volatile. So then I called my lawyer and I said, would you run through one more time how much money I make, how important this is to me, and how, because I'm getting an idiot phone call coming up and I really am not in the mood for it. And he said, he's a very wise man, and he said, you should be happy you're getting an idiot phone call. There are a lot of people in town who wish they were right now, and those idiots aren't calling them. We're discussing this the day before you're going to pick up the show, guys. We can't eliminate the little bit of blackmail that may be a part of this.
Blackmail it may be, but Mr. Goldberg decided to stay where the money is. A producer is careful to not put his mouth where his money is. Dealing with network executives, Eric Severide once said, was like being nibbled to death by ducks. Brandon Tartikoff, president of NBC Entertainment, a very important duck.
Network interference, I think, is a fact of life in terms of the way the business is being done. I mean, we are the buyer, and they are the sellers. And I don't think any producer sitting at Warner Brothers or 20th Century Fox or Universal can have the knowledge and insight as to what we need for a given time period. If on Family Ties, the producer of the show wants to do 9 out of the first 13 stories that have to do with the problems of the parents, then I, as a network, I have to step in and say, wait a second. You've got teenagers watching Facts of Life, and you've got a strong women and teen audience watching Quincy. And if you do stories about the father's problems, by and large, you are programming against what the audience wants to see. Every show on this board is either the lead-in or a lead-out of another program, and it all has to be part of the grand design.
A New York network's grand design can be a Hollywood producer's misery. Not even the comfort of the Helmsley Palace Hotel relieves David Gerber's tension. His show, 7 Brides for 7 Brothers, is being considered for CBS's grand design. He's sweating out the decision. Gerber is a champ at sweating it out.
We here, the producers, are stashed in all kinds of hotels here at the Palace and the Sherry Netherlands and Waldorf Astoria. They're all over the place, or in their offices at 20th Century Fox, at Columbia, and Paramount. And they're just waiting right now, just waiting for a telephone call. And they worked on these shows for a year, through the scripts and the development and the casting and the shooting. Companies can be die or born from an independent viewpoint, from a creative viewpoint. Their ambitions and their feelings and their flexibility within the business can all be turned around in one instant in one schedule. So it's a horrifying experience, and yet it's an awesome experience. And a lot of us lived through it many, many times. They still keep coming back to the well. And they all corral the executives wherever they can. They try to have breakfast with them, lunches with them, and dinners. Most of the executives put on about 20 pounds in 2 weeks just getting fed by the nervous producers. That's a redundancy, by the way. For years, that all of us, at the end of the day, just want to get out of the hotel. We come to 21, and we all meet here. But more deals were made here, more scheduled. Losses and wins were created in the 21. It's almost like a club for the producers. I want a blood transfusion, a stomach pump, emergency kit.
That smiling fellow is an important duck at CBS. Vice President of Programming, Harvey Shepard. This lunch is just hours away from the big announcement. The producers are feeding him as if he were a Strasbourg goose, trying to pry loose some clues about CBS's decision. Shepard is not quacking.
When do you say the schedule will be announced?
Well, the producers will know tomorrow afternoon.
They get that call.
They get that call.
And no one's nervous.
The call is, Dave, congratulations, you're on the air. The only problem is you're against Love Boat.
Mr. Shepard is like a Cheshire duck, calmly explaining how the scheduling process works without really saying anything.
What happens in some of these meetings, in other words, when you're scheduling?
The show that's the stronger show and is the big hit, I mean, everybody, agrees on that, and it's easy to schedule that because you put it in a relatively tough time period.
Does testing have a lot to do with that before you even get into it?
We really, we'll use testing as a tool, but really when we do our initial evaluation, testing does not play any role in it.
Is it raucous or is it rather subdued?
You got Mr. Paley in the room. It's not raucous, I'll tell you that.
Okay. They have a schedule, but they're going over with Paley tomorrow morning, and then they'll come out tomorrow morning sometime. How does 7 Brides look?
Looks pretty good, thank God.
By 7 in the evening, the producers are back at 21. Still no word from CBS. Nervous producer is a redundancy, so is complaining producer.
You're making an 8 o'clock show, so I take out the sex, I take out the humor, I take out the action.
I said they're telling that to every producer in town,
But the thing that I feel bad about is when you make it to their order, and then they reject you, then you feel bad.
The network development process is a funny thing. They guide you and say, do it this way. Then when you do it, no matter what, they said to you, do it red. And in that screening room, it goes up and it's red, and they say, well, I don't like red. Networks should contract with producers that they have confidence in, that they believe in the work that these people have done, and let them do it.
That's it.
And then judge what it is. Don't guide them. Let producers and creative people make their own mistakes, because that way maybe they'll be right half the time. If they make their mistakes and you give them a lot of help, they may be making their mistakes and your mistakes too.
Exactly.
And then it's all mistakes.
That's what I feel bad. Had I failed with Modesty Blaise, I would not feel bad at all if I'd failed with my mistakes. Had I done the show I wanted to make, I'd say, and they don't buy it, I say, hey, that's the luck of the draw. But I failed by doing what they asked me to do. That's what I feel sick about.
I've seen guys threatened me emotionally to get out of the business, and Raven Ramp that we had to talk down. Fellas on a phone call or in a restaurant getting bad news, walk out and regurgitate right there. I'm talking about tough guys that be in a business. Others have, some of them have blacked out sometimes in their own hotel room. Why do we put ourselves through it? I don't know. The payoff is high, the life is exciting, the sense of achievement underlies everything. I don't hear what the cynics or the caustic people say, but when you put a show on you believe in, and those people are there, and you say, hey, we're on, it's a beautiful feeling. And now I'm away, 1 hour away from getting the news myself. I don't know, I look out here and I feel, I get a phone call and I say, top of the world, Ma, or jump, I'm not sure which. The Seven Brides thing started out, and I was a little concerned. They said, music? And out there in the rural section, and cattle and cowboys and music, I said, wow, I don't think I can do this on a weekly series. I mean, I've cracked up enough squad cars and some shootouts and squealing tires, I said, my days, but cows and cowboys, maybe something a little different. And we shot it up at Murphy's, California, Northern California, right in the heart of the mother lode. And they cooperated. Without their cooperation, I wouldn't have a chance. They even created an entire county fair. They came out, 1,000 people at one time came out to, wait a while, this may be my whole life here. As you know, I'm sweating out a call to see if Seven Brides gets on CBS, and we're all waiting for that call. Hello? Yes? Yeah. What? You think we're on? You mean official call? We're on? I thought we were going to wait till 12 o'clock. 8 o'clock Wednesday? Who am I against? Brass Monkey and who else? And Real People? But I made it officially? I want to call Bud. I may go up there. We'll meet you over there. Well, that's great news. That's official, huh? Okay. They'll be out at 2:30? Well, God bless. Thank you. Good news. Bye. Well, you got it. I was warning Michelle.
What happened?
We pause to let Mr. Gerber collect himself. But only for a moment. There's money to be spent.
Now, how many dances you want, and how much music, and how much deficit? That's fantastic. Geez, how can music? What you're going to get is Muzak. No more Jibby Webb tones. And finer dancing goes finger shadows. We got to cut the budget down. And everything I promise you, you can forget. All right? And instead of the whole town of Murphy's, I think I'll give you Culver City in the back lot. Hey, that's fantastic. I'm happy too. Listen, how did Gary make out? Oh, boy. And how about Lee Rich, who I'm supposed to meet at 5, who I may not? Nothing. Oh, God, what a body blow for him.
Now, I didn't go to New York because I find that vaguely demeaning. Actually, not so vague, you know, but you go there and you might as well be Willie Loman bringing your suitcase of socks, you know, and everybody's there and everybody's selling and everybody believes that they have the best show ever done. And so all the rhetoric and all the dialogue is meaningless. That element of it doesn't appeal to me because I think we get very contained here in our office. We work. It's very much our writing staff. And we lose sight of the fact that we are making product to be sold. And that would bring it home a little too sharply for me.
Each of the characters you've met so far is important, but really only to each other. These are the true grand panjandrums of network television, the affiliates. The station owners who agree to carry a network schedule. The networks may propose, the affiliates dispose. So each spring out in California at extraordinary expense, the networks wine and dine and generally love the affiliates and their affiliated wives. Enough oysters and champagne and glitter and starlets to sink the QE2 or even the Love Boat, all in preparation for the presentation of the network menu. Maestro, the Peacocks.
We're NBC. Just watch us. NBC. You love us. NBC. Just watch us now. We're NBC. Just watch us. NBC. You love us. NBC. Just watch us now. Just watch us now. NBC. Just watch us now. NBC. Just watch us now.
Now, with the primetime schedule they're all talking about, the president of NBC Entertainment, Brandon Tartikoff.
Thank you. Good morning. And welcome to the presentation of the NBC 1982-83 primetime schedule. When the schedule was announced in Weekly Variety, it was accompanied by the following headline: NBC Fall Sked, It's Tartikoff's Baby. My first instinct was to demand blood tests. Our 11 new contenders are all targeted for the most desirable demographics. All across the board, there is youth and excitement, fresh faces, fresh new talent, exciting new personalities. But the backbone of our success will always be series. And we've got a great one in Family Ties.
The feeling here at the affiliates convention is very high.
NBC's had its problems, and I think they've faced them, and I think we've seen improvement.
Well, Family Ties is a very interesting show conceptually. I certainly hope it's a turning point for NBC.
Maybe we'll take a shot at being number one. That's what we want to be, it's number one.
The president of the CBS Entertainment Division, Bud Grant.
In the next half hour, Harvey Shepard will introduce our 1982-83 schedule. And then you will see one of the most innovative of our new series, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. That show has music, dancing, and a cast of young talent, many of whom will be among the stars of the very near future.
What did you think, sir, of Seven Brides?
I think it'll probably go till February.
So that says, in effect, it's a kind of a...
I think it's kind of a soft show.
A dog?
I think it's kind of, yeah, kind of a dog.
What do you think of Seven Brides?
We like it. We think it'll go well.
What do you think of Seven Brides?
I liked it.
Honest?
Kind of.
What is trash on CBS?
Nothing.
Nothing?
You didn't let me finish the answer to your question.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think that a show that is not generally perceived as quality, like The Dukes of Hazzard, in that form is done exceptionally well. It is executed extremely well.
Well, that's a very convoluted answer. You're saying basically this is trash, but as trash, it's done very well.
I didn't say it was trash.
That's what you're suggesting with that answer.
What I was referring
to... For what it is, it's done well.
What I was referring to is what is generally perceived by our critics as quality and what is generally not perceived as quality.
What does Bud Grant think, though?
Well, I think that the shows that we put on the air, I can stand behind every single one of them.
In the entertainment area, what is the program you feel most proud of?
Dallas.
Why?
It's the highest rated television series in the history of television. It has provided so much entertainment for so many people. That little plaque over there on the desk that says 53.3 was the rating that it got for the Who Shot JR episode. I am very proud that we gave so many people so much pleasure.
Okay, now the directors, as soon as we make a decision about location, we have, about 8 guys that we're ready to start moving on right away.
The latest show to join the schedule, this schedule that is permanently cast in Play-Doh, is Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. David Gerber is on his way to meet with Harvey Shepard to find out just what kind of show he really sold CBS. The nibbling begins.
Where's it going to be, down here?
It's in the conference room here.
Oh, right here. All right. Well, I think the key to make this Seven Brides successful is getting involved with the characters, and it makes it a very fresh concept and something which is, you know, cannot really be seen on the air.
We want to do the music every week. We think it's part of that caricature. The dancing may be a little bit more problem, but I think we agree that we don't want to stop the story just to dance. I know, not what we say, not Nelson any time.
Right.
And that's our biggest problem. Do you mind if we'll have music every week, but if the story plays out and there's no room for what we call a natural aspect of dancing, that perhaps that week we might not have that. But
But I think each week we have to have at least, in other words, if we could have both music and dancing where we can manage it, that would be the ideal. But if one week we don't have a dance number, or if we have a very modest dance number, even if it's just, you know, Adam and Hannah just dancing together. But I think we must have music every week. I think that's a given, yeah.
Well, the dance of Hannah and Adam on the porch was a beautiful moment.
Yes,
and that had music.
Really
and
that's right.
And,
And
it came
also,
out of...
and that's also, that came right out of the story.
Right. Okay, that was a pretty good meeting. Well, in fact, it's an excellent meeting. Enjoy it while you can. It's our first network meeting.
Another meeting. Meetings in Hollywood are the staff of life. And the meetings have a language. And the language is one clue why all television sort of looks the same.
You know, we're talking about the network terms. Network has terms for what we do as writers to discuss little hooks, to use one of their terms. For instance, topspin is a great network word. You sit and say, there's not enough topspin here. And we said, what are you talking about? You know, he said, well, topspin in network terms is something that happens in the scene to propel you into the next scene. Usually someone loses a briefcase or something, you know, really exciting, and that's topspin into the next scene. Heat is another great thing. Heat is tension, it's arguing. It's usually somebody calling somebody a fat mother, you know, or some great thing. That'll be an example of heat. Pipe, well, they would say, you know, you got to lay pipe here, guys. We're not dealing with college people. These are a lot of pipe. Pipe is the history of every character from the moment of their birth until they stepped into that room. God forbid that anyone watching could give any closure to a character on their own. Then you have a blow, a hook, a button. For some reason in network television, no one can leave a room without a joke. I don't know how it is in your own home, but in my house, a lot of times people will just go out. But here, you cannot. You must deliver a joke and leave a room. That's a blow or a button. And they say, we don't like the button, change the button, get a better blow. And the hook would be like a man just landed, he's from another planet. That's the hook. And then the audience is going to watch that. We have an alien in our living room. The audience is hooked. You would never hear discussions along any deeper than that about the writing, about character development and motivation and reality and truth of the moment. But you will always see a show, will always have heat, topspin, pipe, hopefully a good button and a hook, and a great blow.
Goldberg the Maverick dismisses the networks as havens for Philistines. Yet he accepts the Philistines' money, and that's why his show includes as many buttons and blows, hooks and pipe, as anything on television. Looking at these repetitive clone series, you really have to wonder, is this the best that our writers and our directors and our master programmers on three great, rich, powerful networks, the best that you people can come up with?
Well, you know, people constantly, or not constantly, but occasionally say to me, why is television as bad as it is? Frankly, I think I'm constantly amazed that television is as good as it is. Because for us to provide, and the other two networks, the quantity of entertainment, as well as information and sports, but we're just talking entertainment at the moment, the quantity of entertainment, 22 hours for 7 years, under the restrictions of time and money the television has to operate under, I think it's absolutely amazing that television is as good as it is.
Now, we've asked you to come here so that you can tell us exactly what you think about the television program you're going to see. And you can tell us what you think simply by pressing a pair of buttons.
The networks don't like to admit that research plays an important part in what you get to see on television, but all of them maintain large research departments, the most bizarre extension of which is this way of finding if it will play in Peoria.
Honest opinion. Now, just relax and view the show.
Okay, I'd like to ask you people just a few questions about the show, and I'd like to remind you that we don't have anything to do with this show. Please give us your frank and honest opinions, okay? And there may be differences. Okay, I'd like to start with Miss 20. Could you tell me what you thought about the show?
For myself, I would watch it because I don't go in for heavy, dramatic shows.
All right, now, Miss 16, could you tell me what you thought of the show?
I think it would be fine if they, with seven brothers, so it'll give them a lot.
The network is now peopled and staffed and controlled by people who only understand research. They can't tell you what's working and not working in your show, but they can tell you how it's skewing and how it's doing bimodally and how many Puerto Rican lawyers between the age of 14 and 50 are watching. There are no showmen there. There are no people who are willing to go with what they themselves feel. They are trained and conditioned and taught and actually get ahead by negating their own personal feelings and trying to guess, really, which is all it is a guess about what this American public out there is going to want, while they're about 8 steps behind it. Now, here's the thing that's really amazing is every year these guys put on 10 new shows, 9 of which fail, based on all this research and all this money and all this millions of dollars spent on pilots, where if they were just picking shows blindly out of a hat, they would probably get the same rate of success.
One of the criticisms that you hear from producers out here is that you people, the master programmers, live really isolated lives. You're buried in research, or you're buried in limousines, or you're buried in jet airplanes going from coast to coast. And neither are you showmen, on the one hand, nor are you really in touch with ordinary people's lives and able to reflect them in the programming.
Well, the few times that I'm ever in a limousine or in a jet airplane, I usually bump into one of the producers that you've just talked to. I think we are in touch with the public. I think the public tells us every single day what they're interested in, what shows they're interested in, simply by the measure of the audience. So I think that we are in touch with the public.
You really think that what Bud Grant likes to put on and what people respond to by way of ratings is what they want to see?
Yes.
But how do you know?
It's not really what Bud Grant wants to put on. It's what the public in the final analysis chooses. They will either watch this program or they will not watch this program because they want to see it.
CBS Reports will continue.
The writing, the agonizing, the casting, the selling to the network and the affiliates is over. It is time to make episodes. On the set of Family Ties, Gary Goldberg is preparing for Scene 1, Act 1. It is the nature of the television industry that it hopes for success, but it plans for failure. So even before Family Ties was shot, NBC was planning its mid-season replacements. Brandon Tartikoff, looking for a possible replacement for Family Ties, knocks around some bright ideas with Hugh Wilson, the creator of WKRP. Wilson and Goldberg have their own Family Ties. Both wrote for the Tony Randall Show. Incest is a way of life in Hollywood.
The thing that we need is a show, however you want to build it, that can start off a time period.
You know, 9 o'clock.
You know, something that with enough of a concept so that when you put the promo out the first week of the shows, when you have 30 promos to say, God, I got to watch it. It's so different.
Yeah. You probably loaded on domestic stuff. Stay away.
Another area, but it would have to be done real well, is the whole White House thing. If there was a first family kind of idea.
Yeah. They get this guy from Tennessee. You know, somebody who hasn't...
It's Spiro and Judy Agnew.
Yeah, Judy Agnew. And Judy Agnew has only been his wife for, you know, a couple of years. He hasn't been in office. She knows nothing about Washington.
She was a waitress in a bowling alley.
Right. And suddenly...
And she met this guy who was a congressman, you know, from Tennessee. And the next thing you know, they're balancing out the ticket, and this guy ends up being the vice president of the United States.
So this guy is kind of a senator from out of the blue. That gets
Yeah, they
picked
got
up
him
just
to balance the ticket.
just to
Right.
balance
There were so
the
many
ticket.
elements of other shows. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's every average American citizen in the Blair House. Outside of Johnny Carson's monologue, there's nothing on television that takes shots about politics. I think people are ready, through the times that we're living in, to take shots.
I like that. Do you like it?
Yeah,
They
we like it so far. It's
I
fun. I think it's so much fun.
If you were looking for someone to blame or praise for prime time in the 80s, you need look no further than this man, Fred Silverman. In the 70s, the master programmer for CBS, NBC, and ABC. He brought us Roots and Sheriff Lobo, MASH and Supertrain, the best of times and the worst of times. Fred, what's wrong with network television?
There's a sameness about it, a sense of deja vu that you're seeing the same things that you've seen 10 years ago and 20 years ago. And there is no sense of the pioneer spirit.
In a certain way, you're responsible for that because the legacy of NBC, ABC, and CBS is Fred Silverman.
Well, that's not necessarily true. I think the legacy of CBS is William Paley, who has been the continuity for many years, and the legacy of ABC is Leonard Goldenson, Fred Pierce. I don't think any one man is responsible for the state of television.
What is trash on television?
What is trash? Mm-hmm. Well, I guess there's, I could say there's good trash and there's bad trash.
Well, give me an example.
Well, when Rich Man, Poor Man was on the air as a miniseries, I don't think that show would ever win a Peabody. That was good trash. It was very entertaining.
Bad trash?
Bad trash are just shows that aren't well executed. They aren't up to the standards of, what they're supposed to be.
Would you call Dukes of Hazzard bad trash?
No, I'd say that Dukes of Hazzard in its prime was good trash because it was an excellent execution of what the producers set out to do. They didn't set out to make the Defenders.
Isn't it a sad commentary, Fred? And you just said it, that most of television is good trash.
That's what it is, and that's what it's always been. And I think that the problem with television today is the producers and the writers and the directors have been recycled. I mean, they're recycled. They go from one failure to the other. But I'm not indicting the networks. I really am indicting the system. There are a lot of good people that are out of television right now because they've done it. They do it for 5 or 10 years and they get spent. They say, that's it. We've made a lot of money, and they don't want to end up in a cemetery. And it's a very, very difficult drain. It's a very time-consuming. I had dinner last night with Danny Arnold, who did Barney Miller. And he worked on that show when they were in production 16 to 18 hours a day. He used to sleep in the office and ended up having 2 heart attacks.
If the phone rang now and one of the 3 networks said, come on back, Fred, would you go?
No.
Why not?
No. I had 20 years of it. I had 20 years of working like Danny Arnold, 18 hours a day. You know, and I'd like to reach 50.
The thing I don't like about television is the unrelenting nature of it. This idea of having to do a show every Friday night, we would shoot every Friday night. And after about the 14th show, I mean, you're just exhausted. Sometimes you're confused which show you're working on, because you're editing last week's show, you're writing next week's show, and you're rewriting this week's show down on the stage.
Do you see what we have to do in 5 days? There's no way you can do a show in 5 days. We have to do a show that has to be 24 minutes and 40 seconds long. It can't be 24 minutes and 42 seconds or 28 minutes. It's got to be 24:40 every week. It has to break at 12 minutes with a joke.
Jerry, my heart bleeds for you.
Okay, very quiet, please.
Lots of energy, kids. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the first scene of tonight's episode of Family Time. Ready, Andy? Ready. Turn loose. 5, 4, 3, 2. Freeze up. Talking,
92.
talking.
93.
Talking, talking. Cueing.
220. Okay.
Party.
202.
God
Come on.
damn it.
I hope you're satisfied.
Jennifer, don't be
Push in.
with me. I don't like it.
Bad news, kids. No sweets, no treats, no meats. Lots of yogurt and some stuff from Bulgaria.
Come up a little, Garth.
But there's gonna be a way
You got
out
a
of
kid
this
in the
thing. It's gonna
picture
happen
there.
for you.
Wide,
It's
wide,
not
widen
going
out,
to
Joe.
be a
Widen out.
lady's
Come on
choice.
out. Follow him down. Very nice, Joe. Let him go out of their frame.
What are the stakes involved in hitting something like this?
Stakes are very high, yeah. In doing the show, there's money to be made, I think. In terms of dollars, if you're talking, I mean, a hit television series is Star Wars. It's Star Wars, it's Jaws. That's
You're
right.
kidding.
No, that's a hit television show. I would venture to say that Paramount will make more from Laverne and Shirley than any of the movies they've done, for sure. I mean, it's huge.
And so if it's Star Wars for Paramount, it's Star Wars for
I get to keep
Gary
my house,
Goldberg.
yes. Well, we're partners, yeah, but I get to keep, I don't have to worry about making a living, that's right. I would not have to worry.
Ever,
Ever.
you mean?
No.
With one hit?
Oh, yeah, one hit. I mean, even if this just stayed on for 2 years, I'd be heading for Leisure Village, you know? I mean, that's where I'm looking to go, so.
By most people's standards, everyone in entertainment television, except for out-of-work actors and technicians, is already in Leisure Village. The profits, once a show like MASH or Laverne and Shirley goes into syndication, are in the hundreds of millions.
Thank you, Joe.
Every television producer always says that whatever he's doing's never been done before. But in the case of David Gerber and Seven Brides, there is a certain originality by the standards of television. New music, new choreography for each show.
Thank you. 1, pulls her up to 2, she turns her 3, left, 4, he goes 5, backs up, 6, go front, 7, she comes 8. We go and 1, 2. And she follows 1, 2. Okay, she goes down. And we go together. What are you doing this for? For money?
You know what's troubling, just watching the effort that goes into something like this, is that whether this is good quality or bad quality, everyone's breaking their necks, all these young people. And some guy sitting at home, all he has to do is go,
I know, that thing we face, I don't even like to think about it. So, you know, it's...
There is no one from CBS here.
No voices, no brass. They haven't, they'll be up there, I guess, eventually, but none of the, you know, they really let us have our own head of steam.
Because I was over at a taping last night at NBC, and Brandon Tartikoff was there, and there must have been, you couldn't spit without hitting a vice president.
I know. No, not up here. No, but that's one of the reasons I've done it up here. The hills are here and the cowboys are here. I make it tough to find a place.
Okay. Can I have the first team right here, please? Roger, I need you.
I'm just trying to get an idea, not as a CBS employee, but as a reporter, how much money CBS might put into something like this.
Well, let us say the average price of a series between around $650, $675, and you're going out, we'll be over $700,000. We'll be way over that.
Some people think I'm a troublesome.
H.L. Mencken said that no one ever went broke underestimating the taste of the American public. That would be too sweeping and too cruel a commentary on network programming. But so much of television seems designed to glaze rather than excite our minds. It's saddening that so much hard work, so much zeal goes into making the very ordinary. But prime time is an animal that must be fed, and its food of choice is convenience food. At least that's what its keepers say.
Deep inside.
Cut it. Very nice.
Thank you. Cut.
In the making of primetime television, there's still one ingredient missing. You, viewers, lots of viewers. Without you, these characters, this producer, this executive have no future. And you must watch in droves from episode 1. Television demands instant success. And so predictable are you that even before a new season begins, ad agency forecasters like Bill Lynn guess with great assurance who shall live and who shall die.
In the fall of 1982, approximately 23 new programs were put on the air by the 3 networks. Of those 23 new programs, the prediction is that 50% of them will be off the air before the end of the season. What we're doing is taking a number of different elements: research, historical data, our own basic experience and program judgment, our knowledge of the production companies, and the strengths and weaknesses of the networks. Looking at our NetPAC computer forecast for Seven Brides and Family Ties, we see the following. We see that Seven Brides is going to be a marginal program at best, perhaps a good show in the wrong time period, start out with a reasonably acceptable 25% share, go downhill from there to the point where it probably will not be renewable in the next season. Slightly different situation with Family Ties. We think it's going to get about a 26% share of the audience. Unlike Seven Brides, will be successful enough to be renewed into the next season.
Wednesday on the premiere of Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
This thing's going, look out!
It's a romping, stomping celebration as this high-spirited family fights to save their special way of life.
Tonight on CBS.
Premiere night. All that anguish and cash is imprisoned on polyester, all reduced to an $85 videotape.
With a slant tip for easy control.
Joe, give me a remote on 410, 411, please.
Male Models, Friday at 7:30.
Now, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
There's no turning back now. Seven Brides is off and dancing towards death or glory.
I'm sorry, there's nothing more I can do about it. What do you mean there's nothing more? Let's go see the judge. This isn't helping any. Come on.
See, he's the practical one.
That's in San Andreas.
Portrait of two men hoping for a 30 share of the audience.
And we have our cow with feet in there. We need to get it out. I'm afraid that it has been impounded by the court.
That's right in the town of Murphy.
Good morning, Bud. Here are the overnights.
This is super.
They are very good.
Yes, it's terrific. Great.
Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. Is that going to stay on the air?
I certainly hope so.
But you know so.
No, I don't. As we sit here right now, I cannot tell you whether Seven Brides is going to stay on. So far, the show is doing well. It is not an enormous hit. It is not an enormous disaster.
I suppose somewhere in the murky corners of this building, they're deciding what will replace it if the decision, which I gather is going to be made any week now, is to cancel the show.
Well, we don't cancel shows. We just don't renew them. There's a difference.
Of the 23 new shows in prime time this season, 10 already show signs of terminal illness. It's no easy thing to speak in any definitive way about this art or science or money machine that is network television. There are, thank God, no rules about what television should be like. The people who run things are not paid to put quality, whatever that is, on the air. They're paid handsomely to put success on the air, as in that 53.3 rating for Who Shot JR. When Bud Grant says that you decide on the nature of this beast, there is a certain wisdom to it. What he did not say was that fewer of you are bothering to watch, that the overall ratings for prime time are substantially lower than they were a few years ago. So you are saying something new out there. The networks know it, but so far, as we've seen in the past hour, and as you can see on any night in prime time, they've done very little about it. And if the suspense is killing you, both Family Ties on NBC and Seven Brides on CBS were renewed for the rest of this season, providing, of course, enough of you stay around to watch.
I'll never forget when I had my first show on the air. I went back to Brooklyn. The first time I had a producer on it, you know, one of my shows, and I'll clean this one up. But as I walked in the room thinking, a big-time producer comes back to Brooklyn at this party, I heard a voice come across the room, "Hey, Gerber, how come your voice not junk on the American public?"
That, I think, is the malady that television's got to cure itself of. You know, it's television creating new television by writers sitting in bungalows watching old television shows.
The best things on television are done by very, very good people doing what they want to do with it, with the minimum of interference from outsiders.
And those are the shows that will be the successful shows, because the audience is a lot smarter than most people think.
All of a sudden I realized 40 million people, this is going out on the network. This isn't like a, you know, a La Mirada civic show for 15 people in your family. This a lot of people are going to see this, and that's a responsibility, and it's a privilege, and it's a real joy. And I think this is better than a real job.